had a belief that I always had to struggle. I had a belief that I always had to struggle. I had a belief that it was always hard. And what ended up happening in my life was that I was always struggling and it was always hard. And what I realized, and as I've said or stated, what I realized is that I didn't have to so much shift my work ethic because I've always worked. I've always desired to have a life that really suited what I believed I could have. I had to shift my mind on what I felt I could have. I had to shift my mind on the things that I was told growing up that, money didn't grow on trees. Well, technically, it does. It's made of paper. And we never refute that. We never refute the fact that money does grow on trees. We just absorb the whole money must be hard to get. Or that only a certain class or certain group of people have money. And now that one I'll agree with. I'll agree that a certain group and a certain class has money. But that group and class is encompasses people who know and understand the money game, not just a certain type of person that we've created in our mind. It's going to be people that understand that you must shift your mind around what you believe and understand the importance of money is in order to have more money. And a lot of times we do external. We think we have to work extra jobs. We think we have to work longer hours. We assume that we have to take on more clients. We have to sell more products. And some of that helps. But what really helps, and this is a testament, you can ask my clients, you can DM, whatever. What actually helps is shifting your mindset around what you believe about money, the purpose of it, the importance of it. Why is it that you need the money? We talked about that yesterday. Why is it that you want the money, and what are you planning on doing with it? Now, that's the base level, and then you need to see yourself having the money. So I got my little notes to make sure. In order to be at the top of your field, whatever that field is, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a business owner, self-employed, you work for other people and you desire it. I don't feel any is better than the other. I think understanding what your desires are is what sets you apart, and understanding how to be financially fit. It brings me back to something that years ago when I first got into finances, I asked my aunt and uncle who lives in Baton Rouge if I could sit down with them. I was learning all of this stuff I wanted to share. And when I got there, now, both of them have worked jobs their entire lives until they retire. One is a school teacher, the other is an engineer. When I knew they were comfortable. They had a really nice house. I knew they were comfortable. I wasn't aware of how comfortable they were. Now, this is to prove that you don't just need to be an entrepreneur. You need the knowledge around financial fitness, financial health, and to shift your mindset around money in order to be wealthy. So when I sat down with them, this was before I had my daughter. So this was, I'm not going to age myself. You're not even going to trip me up with letting you know when, how my daughter is. You got to guess. And so I sat down with them and we started to go through their finances and see if there was anywhere I could help them. And I found a school teacher and an engineer, maybe, several years ago, had already saved and invested multi-millions of dollars. So we assume we have to be a certain type of person or work a certain type of job or be the most successful entrepreneur to be wealthy or to be comfortable. And this opened my eyes very early on. If you understand the rules around money, you understand the principles around money, you shift your mindset around money, then you can have the money that you desire. So that's going to be more important than many of the other things. Not working an extra job, even though having an extra job temporarily, because sometimes I work 15, 16-hour days. I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes, every now and then, when I'm trying to put a product out, we're trying to create a new experience for clients, a new experience for customers. I will work longer hours, but that's not the norm. The norm is more of a like today. Today I woke up, I meditated, I was meditating, and then I woke up again because the meditation got real good and I fell asleep. Then I got up again. I started to look through HBO Max to see which movie I was going to partake in for a few minutes. One of my friends called. We stayed on the phone for about 45 minutes. I did some light stretching, got up, and made some food to eat. And then I started to really prepare mentally and physically for the live. And so it doesn't have to always be a hustle mode. So as we talked about last time, one of the ways that you can shift your mindset, and I talk about all of this in money management and entrepreneurs and 21 day word revolution. Like I'm big on this. So over the years, I've just been building on these ideas in all of my books. So one of the ways that you can shift, because I don't want to just throw you out there and be like, you need to shift your mind. You need to change your thinking. And you go, okay, but how? One of the ways that you can shift your mindset around money is clearly defining what you want. Learn to set goals. We talked about the power of goals last time. So according to Brian Tracy, if you don't know who Brian Tracy is, he's a much older white male. He specializes, that's all he does, goal setting. According to Brian Tracy, the top 99% of people who hold the wealth in America have learned to set, well, in the country, in the world, have learned to set goals. So that's one thing. I think part of the reason people are wealthy, there's other layers to that, but one of the reasons people understand, or who understand how to keep amassing wealth, is because they understand the principles and ideas around money. So they set goals. So that's one way to shift your mindset. Start to shift and set goals. I talk about it like for pages and pages in 21 Day Word Revolution. So if you're a novice to it, that's a good book. It's on my website. With goal setting, you can literally shift your entire life. So let's give some receipts. So I have a client. We started working together about 2 years ago. She's the youngest client I've ever worked with. When we started working together, many of my clients are entrepreneurs. I do have people in business. When I say people in business, I mean people that have jobs. We started working together. Hey, Miss Washington. We started working together a couple years ago. She was, I think, 23 or 24 when we started working together. I was so proud of her for even wanting to do this type of work. Shift our mindset, start to heal certain areas that also block your money. This year, she moved to Alaska. I've never even been to. She moved to Alaska. She got a job offer making, I think, 5 times what she was making at her last job, working 3 days a week. So she didn't work more. She actually found something where they actually called her, she works less in a place she's never been. And she talks about how cold it is, but she talks about how beautiful it is. So you can secure a higher level of beauty. You can secure a higher level of wealth and not go back into a struggle. And one of the main things that we worked on the entire time was shifting her mindset. But I would make her write down everything. Write down how you see your life. Write down how you want to see your life. And then this is the piece. So this is the second thing with goal setting. You need to understand how you expect to feel when you have the life that you expect to have. So let me clarify that, because that's probably the piece that's missing. We always write down stuff. But one of the things, when I was looking for my house before I bought this house that I'm sitting in right now, one of the things that I expected to feel and I would see very clearly is peace. That I would be so peaceful in my own house that I could walk around the way I wanted to walk around. Just leave that right there. That I could sleep how I wanted to sleep. That there would be very little disturbances in the neighborhood. And I felt that peace. That's what I wanted. That's what I desired. I wanted somewhere that was aesthetically beautiful. Like when I walked in every time, and I still do, this is so beautiful. This is so nice. One day I have to give you a tour. And I wanted to feel peaceful. And that's what I experienced. I literally feel that way every night and every morning when I wake up in my house. So on top of, okay, this is what I want in my life, you must also outline, this is how I expect to feel when I have what I want. That's the why part. And that's the part that we really dive into in money management and entrepreneurs. That's on the website as well. That's a course. That's for the masters, people who are trying to master their life. One of the ladies that helped me with the editing is on here. And so that's for masters, but you must understand the why. Like, why do I want this? Why do I want a new house? Why do I want a new car? Why do I want my business to flourish? One of the reasons that I would like the tax business that I'm a CEO of to make more money is one of the ladies that has worked with me for many, many years wants to be promoted up and work solely with me. So I want to have enough money coming into where I can pay her very royally, not just pay her to where she can survive, but really help her create the life that she desires. So in order for me to do that, I gotta make enough money to support my lifestyle, enough money to support her lifestyle, enough money to hire. So that's a why, and that's bigger than me. So then we work together as a team. I have another client. Speaking of clients, who and we did lives together. If you've been following me for a while, she's a realtor, and she talked about how January used to be, before we started working together on her mindset. January used to be notoriously her slowest and lowest amount of money month. She didn't sell a lot of houses. She didn't make enough, so she would just prepare for that all year. After working with me for several months, we were coming up to January. We went through January. January turned out to be her biggest month to date. So you can believe that something is going to be a struggle and a poverty point in your life, or you can shift your mindset around that. And a lot of times people think bigger money comes with more work. You got to have all of this stuff, and that's not true. And so you must learn to shift your mindset. Goals act as a roadmap for your entire life. When you outline your life, what you do is you start to design. And I believe we can design the life that we want. We can design our weight. We can design our skin, our hair. I see myself having hair when I get older. I don't know about y'all, but I want to have. I want to have a full head of hair, and I see it. I see the way I want to feel. I want to be able to walk around without assistance. When I'm old, or whatever old looks like, I want to be able to be healthy, see, and have my memory. My grandmother died, and she didn't even really know who we were. And so I want to be of sound mind and body. And so you must see those things. And so you can design your life from the biggest to the smallest. You can design every area of your life. And so, it's going to be super important for you to understand that. And so examples for me, like if you've been following me for, a while, you'll see the progression. When I first started, I wasn't on iHeart. I didn't have a podcast or anything like that. But what I did do that many people didn't know early on is I used to write out goals. I want to reach the maximum number of people to start with my hand. That's the third part. And I've always talked about this too. The third key piece to having and designing your life is many times we want to type our goals. We want to just, throw them in a phone real quick. A trick that I've used for many years, and all of the people that I study support this, you must write your goals by hand. I wrote my notes by hand. And it hurt too because we're so used to typing. You must get used to writing your stuff by hand. If you don't have time for that, I'm going to talk all about that tomorrow. If you don't have time for that, you don't have time for the life that you desire. But I know for me, I wrote out that I wanted to be on the radio. I let the universe decide what station, but I wrote out I wanted to be on the radio because I wanted to reach more people. I also wrote out, after being invited to have a segment on the radio on iHeart, pandemic shifted a lot of things, that I wanted to have a podcast. Now I have a podcast, Women That Make Money. And so you can design your life from small to big. What type of relationship you want, type of money you want in your pocket, what type of family, kids. I'm still praying for my daughter. Just saying. And so to round that out, and then, if you have questions, we'll go there. You must set effective goals and understand, we talked about how you expect this to happen, how you expect to feel, why do you want this, how are you going to help and serve, and then when. Along with writing it out by hand, when. And this is all in money management and entrepreneurs. This is a master course. You really want to start having a life instead of saying, "Oh, I hope my life. I hope I get my money." This is for people who this is my month, not just year. This is my month. I'm shifting 30 days. When? Put a date. So in 6 months, I'm gonna have that little bitty snatch waist, and I'm gonna wear a 2-piece on the beach. In 6 months, I'm going to buy a new car and it's going to look like this. In 6 months, I'm going to have my new book out. In 6 months, I'm going to stop playing with this dude or this female that I've been dating that's been blocking my joy and my success in 6 months. So put a date on it. If it's a longer term goal, you put by December 1st, 2021, December 1st, 2022, whatever it is. Make it realistic to you. Put a date and put some money attached to it. So I'll take any questions, but that's our money